Hey, I'm Christine Sweet, and welcome to my kitchen, where I'm going to share some of my favorite plant-based and vegan recipes with you. Today we're going to make a fakin bacon egg breakfast sandwich that is fully loaded with protein, so it's perfect for post-workouts in addition to breakfast. So our main ingredient for our egg is we'll be making a tofu egg patty, and then we'll be making tempeh bacon. To get going on making tempeh bacon, we want to take our tempeh block and slice it thinly. When you're looking for plant-based protein, tempeh is such a great source. This small piece of tempeh has 47 grams of protein. Additionally, tempeh is a source for potassium, calcium, and iron. So it really is a great whole food plant-based protein source. Tempeh thinly sliced like bacon strips, we can go ahead and make our smoky bacon flavoring. We'll be using 4 tablespoons of soy sauce for our base. Now we'll add 2 tablespoons of maple syrup because we really want that smoky maple bacon taste. We'll be adding 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke, and I'm using a Hickory liquid smoke flavoring. So this is really what gives it that bacon flavor. And we'll be adding in a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. A 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. Now that we have our base of our sauce, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of water so that it creates a nice liquid bath to then soak our tempeh bacon in. And we can go ahead and give this a little whirl to get everything mixed together. And now I'm going to just pour it on top of our tempeh. For our tofu egg, we're going to take a block of tofu. Firm tofu is preferred, which has 40 grams of protein. So like I said, this fakin bacon egg breakfast sandwich is fully loaded with plant-based protein. So we're going to go ahead and take our block of tofu and slice it into around 1/4 inch thick slices. For our egg marinade, we'll be using a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. To give our tofu eggs that really eggy taste and smell, that almost kind of sulfuric smell and taste, we'll be using black salt, otherwise known as kala namak, at a local vegan grocery store, and this small container of kala namak salt cost $5. And then I went to a ethnic grocery store and went into their Indian aisle and found a huge bag of black salt for under $2. So needless to say, it is a steal to go out and shop at maybe Indian grocery stores. If you're looking for your spices, I would highly recommend it. We'll be adding in a 1/4 teaspoon of black salt. A little bit goes a long way. If you could smell through the camera, you can really smell like that sulfur smell of almost like rotten egg smell, but that's what you want when you're trying to achieve a tofu egg that feels authentic in flavor and taste. Then we'll be adding in a half a teaspoon of paprika. And well, of course, we'll be adding in some turmeric because it's not only good for you, but it really helps get that nice yellow, rich flavor of eggs. We'll be adding in a quarter teaspoon of turmeric. And then we'll be adding in some cumin, a quarter teaspoon of cumin. You can go a little bit of a heaping quarter teaspoon of cumin. And now we'll just add a little additional salt and pepper to taste. And we'll fill this up so that we have 1/3 cup of water into our spice blend. As we mix this together, it forms almost this egg yolk looking like paste. Now we can go ahead and just pour it over like a marinade on top of our tofu. And we want to make sure that the marinade gets all over each one of the blocks, so that it really has a chance to absorb all the flavor. Our tempeh bacon and egg marinade have been hanging out for around 5 minutes, so we can go ahead and pop them in the oven, and I'm going to put them on a high broil in the middle rack for around 10 minutes. So we'll start by laying out our bacon strips. And with our leftover marinade, we can go ahead and just pour it on top because we really want it to soak up and cook in all of that flavor. It looks like there's room that we can go ahead and squeeze our tofu egg pieces on as well. And same thing, we want to go ahead and just pour the leftover marinade right on top of our eggs before we pop them in the oven. While our tempeh bacon and tofu egg bake in the oven, we will make tofu mayonnaise. So a completely oil-free, nut-free version on mayonnaise, because that is what makes a breakfast sandwich so yummy, is having that creamy sauce on top. For our completely fat-free, oil-free, nut-free vegan mayonnaise, we'll be using tofu, silken tofu, as our base. Then we're going to add a half of a lemon. If you don't want to use tofu, another option for a whole food plant-based oil-free mayonnaise would be to use white beans or navy beans. 1 teaspoon of vinegar, so you can use white vinegar or apple cider vinegar. A touch of Dijon mustard, a half a teaspoon. 1/8 of a teaspoon of black salt. give it a taste. And personally, I think it could use a little bit more lemon and maybe a touch of garlic powder or onion powder just to give it a little extra flavor. But the texture, if you can see here, is spot on. That's really good. Wow. It really would fool you. You would think it's mayonnaise. The timer just went off and the tempeh bacon has gotten nice and brown and the tofu egg has firmed up and looks like a great egg patty. So we can go ahead and start assembling our breakfast sandwich. So I'm just using a little Italian roll. And of course we'll want to spread on our fresh tofu mayonnaise. And a little dollop, a little squirt of ketchup. And we can go ahead and just start layering our sandwich together. So I like to lay down strips of bacon and then go ahead and add 2 eggs on top, and we'll go ahead and go back in with crossing our bacon. There's so much plant-based protein in here. Between the tofu and the tempeh, this is really great for post-workout meal. Now we can go ahead and layer on a nice juicy tomato, some lettuce, and I like to sprinkle some green onions on top. Now that is one killer fakin bacon egg sandwich. I don't know if you can really get a good look there, but it's fully stacked, loaded. It's going to have the right texture that you want. That little crispy bacon from our tempeh bacon, that nice eggy flavor from the black salt. And if you want to spice things up, you can always add in a little bit of chili powder into your homemade mayonnaise if you want something that's a little bit more of a spicy mayo. Thanks so much for joining me in my kitchen. If you liked this recipe and are gonna give it a try, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because lots of plant-based and vegan cooking videos are on their way. Once again, I'm Christine Sweet, and this is Sweet's Plant-Based Kitchen. Hope you enjoyed. Oh, so good.